So in this guitar lesson, I'm going to show you a few ways to get your instrument in tune. Now for string players, guitar, violin, banjo, mandolin, harp, whatever string instrument you play, tuning your own instrument is quite important because you have to do it all the time. If you play the piano, then somebody else does the tuning for you. If you play the digital piano or an electronic keyboard, you don't really have to tune it ever. If you play the trumpet or clarinet or flute, there is tuning with those instruments, but it's very minimal. With a string instrument, like the guitar, you have to always tune your instrument and keep tuning. Sometimes even as you play, between pieces, you'll see players tune up a little bit. So there's many ways you can tune your instrument, and when you first start playing, your teacher will do it for you, but eventually you have to know how to do it yourself. So I'll show you a few ways to do it. Now none of these are really easy at first, so if this is gonna be a little bit confusing when you first try, just give it some time. And I'm gonna show you some different tuners here. Starting with the oldest one I have. This is about 40 years old. I'm 46, so this is almost as old as I am. This is it's electronic, uses a battery, and this is actually really cool because it has a dial, and it will allow you to plug in an instrument if it's an acoustic electric instrument or even an electric instrument, I assume. But it will also allow you to just play. It has a built-in microphone there. So this kind of tuner, and the next one I'll show you, will allow you to play sound into it, but also it will give you a sound out of it, so you can match your string to that sound. So let me start by showing you that. Right now it's off, so when I turn it on, you can hear that sound, and when you use the dials on the side here, that sound changes. So let me see. That's an A. That's a concert A. So if you ever attended a symphonic orchestra concert, you would hear the oboe play that A. Now, since this is a guitar lesson, your first string, the one at the bottom, or the top string I should say, because it's the top note really. Physically it's the string at the bottom, but the sound is the highest on the instrument on an open string. So we actually call that bottom string the top string. So that note is an E. Let me go to an E. So that note, it's an E. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of annoying. And and then you want to tune your first string to match that sound. And I'll show you in a minute. I'll pick up a guitar and show you. So one way, and then here's another not as old tuner. This is more digital than the other one. And this one will kind of do the same thing. See if I know how to use it. That's a B. Hold on. That's a E. It's a very nasal, annoying sound. So then you would match the sound of your first string on the guitar to that sound. I'll show you in a minute how. Now some guitars have a built-in tuner, so I'll show you in a minute on one of these guitars. But the next kind of tuner is called the clip-on tuner, and all of these have also a feature where instead of giving the sound to you, you play the sound for the tuner, and the tuner would show you how far off you are, either too high or too low. That's what this will do. You'll see most guitarists have this clipped on their guitar on the headstock, and this has an automatic shut off, so you don't have to worry about killing the battery. And the way this works, I'll show you in a minute. You turn it on, it has a dial, and when you play each string, the dial is going to go towards the middle depending on how far off you are. And when you get smack in the middle on green, then you know that string is in tune. So I'll show you in a second. And I also mentioned that some guitars, I have a guitar here to show you, some guitars have a built-in tuner. Where is it? Right here. So this one has a built-in tuner. Basically, it does the same thing when I click the tuner. I don't know if you can see that far. And when I play the first string, for example, is that in tune? That seems to be in tune, so that's an E. Kind of in the middle there. And then you do the second string and so on and so forth. And then you want to turn this off. And the other buttons are really not for the tuner. This has a pickup in it, so you can actually plug it in, like right here, into an amplifier. So it's a whole different application for it. So I'll grab that guitar and show you how to actually tune your guitar. Again, give this time. Maybe watch the video a couple of times before you actually try it, and make sure you don't pop a string. Come along. All right, so I'm gonna use this Mitchell acoustic electric guitar. This is the Mitchell 012-0 CESB. Pretty decent guitar. Well, this is kind of in tune, so I'm gonna get it out of tune on purpose. Just assume you have a 3-year-old sibling and they were messing with the tuning pegs. Hopefully they didn't pop a string, but let's assume your guitar sounds like this, which is a lovely sound. Here's a D chord. It's really bad because the guitar's out of tune. So even if you play the right chords over here and strum the right strings over here, it's gonna sound awful because it's out of tune. So if you play a major scale, sounds kind of cool, but it's all wrong. So yeah, so let's see how do we tune this. Well, the first way I mentioned was to get the actual sound. I have this break here, so let me go to an E. That's my E. I'll try to balance this on my knee. Here's my first string at the bottom here. Now before I move on, you'll have to play with your tuning pegs a little bit so you can see how they change the pitch of the string. So if the strings are wound up the right way, when you go clockwise on the bottom ones, the pitch will go up. When you go counterclockwise away from you, the pitch will go down. On these, it's the opposite because they're opposite each other. So on these, if you want the pitch to go up, you want to go counterclockwise. If you want the pitch to go down, you're gonna go clockwise towards yourself. Okay, so maybe you can take a minute or so to just try messing with it a little bit. But don't go a lot of distance because you might pop a string. Okay, if you go too far, if you tighten up the string too much, it's gonna pop. So just a little bit. If you've never tuned the guitar before, just to see which way changes the sound in what way. Okay, that's really bad right now. So let's try to fix it. So here's my tuner. I balance this on my knee. Here's my E sound, and I'm trying to tune the first string. I have to go up. Can you hear that? Now it's the same. Now let's assume the string was too high. Here's that E again. I gotta go down now. Can you hear how it's matching the sound? Oops. Now my advice to you is that when you first do this, turn very slowly, because if you can't tell for sure if the sound is matching or not, And if you go the wrong direction, if you keep tightening that string, it will pop. So just be very careful. And also watch your eyes. It's a safety issue as well. Like, don't look at it when you tighten it, because you don't want this to slap you in the face. Kind of keep your face away and go slowly. Either way you're going, just go slowly to make sure you don't pop a string. So now let's find a B. That's a B. Can you hear that? Let's see if it gives me the lower octave. That's better. That's the actual B. So I go into the low B. Alright? So that's matching. Now I gotta find the G. So G. Gotta go up. Notice how slowly I'm turning. Okay, and then you gotta do the rest with all the strings. Now, how do you know which letters to look for? Write this down. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen too. Your first string here, down here, which is actually your top string, that's a E. Okay. The second one is a B. The third one is a G. The fourth one is a D. The fifth one is an A. And the sixth one is an E. So we have two E's there. Now I'm halfway tuned. I want to show you the other tuner. I won't show you this one because this one's the same as the break I just showed you. I'll show you the clip on a little bit. I might have to come closer for you to see what's happening. But so you want to clip this onto your headstock like that. And most people just leave that on there. And this is, you can twist it to face yourself, to face you. And it's off right now, so you push the little button at the bottom there. And let me go back to my first string and check it. It's spot on. Let me come closer to show you what it looks like on the dial. Let me see if you can see that. 1 second. Can you see that? Wait for it. See that? See the green line? Hold on. Now, second string. It should say B. Let's see how it goes. It's picking up my voice, so I'll be quiet for a second and I'll play the B. That whole thing should be a little flat, so it's hard for me to hold the guitar and play, but there, I kind of fixed it. Can you see the dial there? Look. Bit more. There. Third string should say G now. Okay, that seems to be in the middle. Let's see, my D should be very off. See, it says D sharp. Can you see that? D sharp, so I have to go down. Slowly. Until I go to that middle spot. There. Now you gotta make sure that you hit the string with the same intensity every time. Hold on. Okay. And here's my fifth string to say A. It probably won't because I'm out of tune badly down there. Yeah, this is G sharp. I go up. Now it says A. I'm having a hard time holding this while I play. There. It says A. I hope you can see that. And then you have the line smack in the middle. And then here's my sixth string right here. See what it says? It says C because I'm very low there, so I have to tune up. Now it says E. A little bit sharp. There. before you move on. Now it's going to take you a few tries. You might not get it the first time. And again, the most important thing here is not to go too far above the pitch because you'll pop a string. You can use the built-in tuner if you have one. Now what if you don't have a tuner at all? Well, then you can, if you have a smartphone, iPhone, Android phone, there's lots of apps that allow you to use a tuner. One of them, I can't show you because I'm using my phone. One of them that lots of people use is called a Tuna. I think it's T-U-N-A, and it has all kinds of guitar tuners in there, bass tuners, all kinds of tuners. I also have, I recorded my own tuner on my YouTube channel. I'll place the link at the top if I get a chance, and at the bottom in the description, and you can watch that video. It's like a 3-minute video, and I'm playing one string at a time, basically doing what I was doing with this guy, where you'll hear the sound and then you can match your string to that sound. So if you don't own a tuner, if you don't have a built-in tuner, if you don't own a tuner, a handheld tuner, then you can go ahead and use that tuner that I have on my channel. I'll place the link of it at the bottom, at the top if I get a chance. Okay, so now my guitar should be fairly in tune. Now after a while, I'll be honest with you, most players will just do it by ear. As long as you have the first note, okay, I don't have perfect pitch. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it, but I don't have perfect pitch, so I need the first sound. But once I have the first sound, I can just kind of tune by ear from there. Also, there's another method I can show you some other time. People do this, but I won't get into that right now. So I think I'll stop the video here. Take some time to try this a few times. If you have any questions, if you get stuck, if you end up sounding like this, okay, just kind of stop for a second, think about what you're doing, and try again. And so I'm going gradually, slowly, just inching my way up and down until I get the desired sound. And then now you should know that if the strings are very old, it's going to be that much harder to tune them. So if they're very old, like a year old, it's going to be tough to tune the guitar, so you might consider changing them. I think I'll stop here. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to write them at the bottom, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful. Have a great day. Bye-bye.